Now, all right. Looks like we are live. So, welcome on everybody. 8 o'clock, time to go live. We got Selvin Young tonight. He's agreed to jump on here with us, chat a little Texas football, maybe a little 2005 national championship game, and then it's always cool to catch up with these guys because Selvin. A lot of times when you guys leave the program, even when you go to the NFL, it's like it makes it harder, for us fans to kind of keep up with what you guys have going on. I think when the Longhorn Network came out, it kind of made that easier, more connection. And then, if we're not following you on Facebook or anywhere else, it's kind of hard to, know what you guys have going on. So welcome on. I appreciate you taking the time.
Yeah, for sure, man. Thanks for having me. It's always great to talk Texas, football, life, it's always good for sure.
Right. Well, cool. Yeah, we got some people popping on here. And obviously, guys, if you're catching this on the replay, feel free to drop some questions. We'll see if we can get them answered, later. But if you're watching live, definitely share this out. Invite some more people on. Invite some Longhorns fans that might want to get on here as well. And then feel free to drop your questions down there. But well, cool. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I thought maybe we could start with a little 05 national championship game. One of the things we always like to do is when we are able to get some former players on here to kind of help us get in your head of what the experience was like and what was going on, obviously, during your time. You came in the program, I think, at a super interesting time. If I remember right, you were 5 years in the program, really, from start to finish, right?
Right. Pretty much.
Okay.
Yep.
Right.
5 seasons.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I think about that time, the running back room, obviously super crowded, super deep. Cedric Benson, and then he leaves, and there's Jamal Charles and Ramonce Taylor. I mean, that's an awesome run at running backs. And then obviously you throw Vince Young in there too, which was awesome. But
right.
Well, I mean, obviously one of the big questions I wanted to ask you is to maybe take us through. You had a huge play in the national championship game in the Rose Bowl. The first touchdown for Texas, obviously, they had a field goal already, but kind of take us through what was going on that play. Obviously, it was, an option play to the left, but we always love to hear it from your perspective. What was being talked about? And, just kind of take us through your perspective of that touchdown play.
For me, when we ran that play, I remember Jamal had a nice run before that, and I hopped in, and we kept it moving. We ran that option to the left, and Vince took off, and he sprinted off on me a little bit, but I know, in the summertime and working out in camp and even in practice, there's a lot of times, we take off running, and our DBs, they're so freaking fast. Vince will be gone, and someone goes and chases them down. It's either a Huff or Cedric Griffin. I mean, those guys are just extra rough and extra tough, even in practice. I mean, we run from those guys a lot. And we had this deal to where, you can go and try to get him, but you still got to get by the guy that's going to catch the pitch, and that would be me a lot of times. And so, habits like that carried over to the game, and I was thankful that we did stuff like that. That guys worked that hard even when the play's over. And for me, it was just keeping up with him. And once I saw that he was recognizing me, I was clapping and called his name a little bit, and he finally just went for it and just tossed it. It was a nice soft toss. Knee was probably down, but who cares? I caught it and got in the end zone. So the rest is history. For me, it was a great moment. I got down on one knee and thank Lord and everything and stuff like that. And so,
yeah,
great memory.
So you were kind of calling for the ball, like, obviously, Vince tucked it in and he took off, obviously, off. and then kind of stopped. But so had you like thought, he's going to keep it, he's going, or was you like wanting it?
Well, I mean, I was zoned in, coming into that game when you got respect for an opponent that way. Every second counts, every play counts, and we had a David Thomas mentality what we always said, let's have. And I don't know if people paid attention, but David Thomas went to the whistle, and there was almost beyond the whistle. And we would all try to get knockdowns or blocks the same way David does. I mean, he always would come in at the right time when a guy think the play's over and he's just coming in, he's just breaking it loose for Vince to get extra yards, or me or myself or Jamal. We had that, that coming into that game, a lot of guys on the offense was thinking, be like David Thomas, finish every play no matter what. And, I carried that with me, and, thank God it was in a perfect angle, perfect position. I was clapping my hands, and he heard it and just had faith and just tossed it,
Right.
Glad I caught it.
Cool. So I actually had the play pulled up here. I found it. Let's run through just a few seconds of it. All right. Let's see if this works here. All right. Let me know if you can see that.
Yeah.
All right. So, yeah, we've got Jamal's run there. He's tackled. There it is.
Yep, there it is right there. Brings back memories every time I watch that thing.
We'll pause it right there as Vince's knee was on its way down, and that's all we need to say. So, but and actually, if I remember right, you guys kind of ran that same play or a really similar option play like 2 or 3 plays before that, right?
Yeah, we did. Let me see. I think what did we run it with RT?
I don't remember. I just
don't remember. I know there was one time we ran it and I got stuffed. I mean, those guys was like on me. I had nowhere to go.
Right, understand.
And then there was one time we ran it and I was able to get the first and keep the chains moving. So we knew getting out, we can get out on the edge on those guys, and that option would be a good option for us. And so we knew we needed to put some pressure on those defensive ends and stretch them out, and those linebackers, they move a lot. Mm-hmm. We knew they'd be occupied on the safety position with the receivers and stuff like that. And, we had guys that had no hesitation in blocking. Lyman Sweet didn't get as much credit as I felt like he should. I mean, that guy had no fear in blocking. Billy Pittman had no fear in blocking. Brian Carter, all those guys. So, running the ball, we knew we'd be able to do, whether Vince just kept it or not. We're going to get a hat on the hat.
Right. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. That kind of looking back at those times of, obviously that transition from, the years of Chris Sims and Major Applewhite and then Cedric Benson and, transferring into what you guys brought. I think a lot of fans kind of looked at that 04 team as, we're losing Derek Johnson, we're losing Cedric Benson, but then you got a running back room, like I said, with you, Jamal, Ramonce Taylor, and then obviously what Vince brought to the table running the ball too. It was just it was unstoppable actually. So, but no, it was cool.
That's like a running back coach's dream, offensive coordinator's dream. I mean, you're going to get 5 yards of play no matter what. I mean, 5 yards for me, probably 7 from Jamal, and probably 7 from RT, and probably 7 from Vince. I probably was the lowest averaging guy, even though I probably had more than 5 yards of carry. But for a coach to be able to turn around and say, I can run 2 plays and get a first down, that's not a bad deal.
Right. Yeah. Well, heck, you had 25, 27 touchdowns, for your career though. You were getting in the end zone, no doubt. So yeah. Do you still, how closely do you still keep up with Jamal and Ramonce Taylor and those guys? I've seen some videos of what Ramonce is doing with some kids and coaching kids. Obviously Jamal's NFL career was really long. Now I see him playing with Brian Arakpo, playing Warzone with Arakpo and
right.
And Brian's business partner, the other Brian. But how closely do you still keep up with those guys?
We actually all are pretty close. We try to get together at least once a year. sometimes more we see each other. We message and talk a lot. Ramons is a guy that I try to keep up with. I really love what he's doing down with the kids, like you say. For a guy like him to start a Ramons Taylor association, and have tons of kids running around with his name on the shirt, and he's, training them and teaching them, and basically have something of substance to talk about. A guy that put in the work to get to where he made it to, and then kind of took a turn that wasn't something to be, happy about, but as a man to bounce back and to do some of the things that he's doing and giving back to the community. A guy like that I love to death, man. Someone that took a little longer than someone else to get it, but he's got it. And once he's got it, just like that's the same way he done with that football. He's running with it and he's going fast.
Yeah.
I wish I had the cash to just, support him. Guys like Vince and some of the other guys. I mean, they sponsored his jerseys and bought his whole team, jerseys and feed them and stuff like that. So we actually support each other, individually, more than some of the, people out there do. So we are pretty close, and we keep each other motivated. Played golf with Vince yesterday. I beat him, and
Nice.
we enjoy life. Just enjoying life. Growing
Yeah.
up, we're not kids anymore, so
Right.
it's fun
Right.
watching each other grow.
Right, understand. That's really cool. Yeah, that's cool to hear how you guys are not only keeping up with what each other's doing, but figuring out ways to help each other, figuring out ways to kind of connect and yeah, see how you can continue to help each other. Right, that's really cool. So
Facts. I mean, that
so
bond, when you get
yeah,
a bond like that, it's tough to let go.
right. That's awesome. So kind of looking at the team where it is right now, obviously, has even in the past few years been some pretty high peaks and then some disappointments, but kind of looking at going into 2020, hopefully we have a full 2020 season. I don't think anybody knows anything for sure at this point, but what are your thoughts on this running back room that Texas is compiling right now? Keontae Ingram, Roshan Johnson, and then the freshman 5-star Bijan Robinson coming in brand new, and then even Daniel Young, who has more even more seniority. But what are your kind of impressions on the running back room that the team's putting together right now?
You know, when you got a good running back coach like they have, that guy's in there teaching those guys technique, and he's teaching them, something, food for thought every day to carry with you. And then a coach like that allows guys talents to show. Hopefully those guys coming in there and realizing, hey, I got a teacher in here that's teaching me. So they're paying attention. I watched them, even just coaching guys and football programs where they have summer camps and stuff like that. He's a teacher, whether it's his guys or anyone. So, from that standpoint, the success should be high no matter who's in there. But for me, knowing, hey, you got some options back there, I almost get jealous, wish I was coaching them to kind of get in there and, just to be a part of it, to have some horses as a coach. But it does put a little pressure because, you got to take care of that rock. You can be as good and smart and as fast as you want to, but you got to hold on to that football first and foremost. And, with offensive line and some of those guys that they have coming back, I do believe that we should have an ability to run the football. I do believe, throwing the football is going to be a plus. Ellinger is mature now. He's a grown man. He's understanding what needs to be done before it happens. And so when you got anticipation like that, which comes with, seniority and he's got the leadership, the knowledge now to know, what to do, how to do it, when to do it. I expect good things from these guys. I'm not letting them off the hook and say, we're in rebuilding or anything like that. I think it's time to go play some football and, pushing people and knock them off the ball. Hopefully a lot of this time has allowed some of the guys to get stronger and, dedicate themselves to learning the game and studying it. So, I'm looking for big things from the running back room, from the quarterback room, and we'll see how the defense goes. I haven't paid too much attention to there. I'm an offensive guy, so um, I'm looking forward to some good things.
Yeah. No, yeah, definitely. All that makes sense, especially from the coaching aspect of it. I think sometimes, us as fans kind of forget about the importance of being able to kind of gel all that together. Especially when you've got a lot of talent and figuring out how to not only spread that ball around, but to keep everybody warm and to get them game reps, like actual in-game reps, is so important too. But, you mentioned about Sam, and obviously you played with one of the greatest dual threat quarterbacks of all time. Is playing with a quarterback like that who can just tuck it and run it, or a called design run all the time? Do you feel like that like actually opens it up more for the running backs? Does it take pressure off? And do you guys look at a quarterback like that, and even looking at what Sam can do, is it like just having another running back there with you?
It does step your mind up a little bit, because a lot of times you think, hey, I got a quarterback, so you think, okay, protect the quarterback. This guy's a little fragile, or whatever it may be that comes from the perspective of thinking quarterback. But when you got an actual athlete back there, like you say, a dual threat that can throw it, run it, and just pretty much a tough SOB, it toughens you up a little bit. From a running back perspective, it's like, man, am I going to let the quarterback run for more yards than me today? We understand that when a guy like that is in the box, I mean, they're gonna load that box up. So it's a tougher day. So it's another mindset. So most guys that have throwing quarterbacks, they're excited because, hey, those guys are going to be spread out and you're going to get a chance to run it. So from a running back perspective, with a running quarterback, you would expect that, hey, it's going to be 7, 8, 9 guys in the box sometimes. So your mindset is, let's bruise. It's not a mindset of this is going to be a cakewalk. It's a mindset of, hey, they're coming to stop us, and the quarterback's one of the guys that's running the ball that they're trying to stop. So it ups your game a little bit.
Right. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Of just like, like that mentality of having some competition back there, and obviously, everybody wants to contribute. And I'm sure they're itching to get the ball and to contribute for their teammates too. But yeah, that makes a lot of sense too. Yeah, sure. Cool. Let's see if we got some questions kind of popping up here. So Jimmy Ward says, I'm friends with Ramonce Taylor, and he's a shark at poker. You have any experience playing RT at poker?
Yeah, we actually we entered into a poker tournament not long ago. We did a little deal, me, him, and Vince actually, and I was the last man standing. I went longer and stronger than those guys, so he's probably got a little shark in him. He's a little sneaky poker player, that's for sure. He's got some skills.
All right. But you were still standing, huh? That's awesome.
Yep. I still stood. I left with money. Let's just say that.
Good deal. That's awesome. Well, cool. But what kind of obviously, like I said, you were in the program for 5 years. Obviously there being a significant contributor and also being surrounded by some of the best that ever came to Texas. Being in the same room as Cedric Benson and Jamal Charles and Vince, and you even had a year with Colt McCoy and I'm getting some feedback here, but no, just so kind of looking at knowing the ins and outs of getting ready for a season and being a leader and being there for that long, kind of put yourself in the place of maybe where the team is right now and kind of what they're going through with all this craziness. So, let's say it's spring of 2006, right? And you're kind of getting ready for your last season, how do you think you would have handled all this stuff where you had to stay home, you had to figure out how to work out on your own, no spring football, you had to video conference with your team and coaches? What do you think that would have been like, kind of putting yourself back in that situation of getting ready for your, maybe last season of how do you think you would have handled that? It's just kind of crazy.
You know what? It is crazy. And it makes me think because coming into that season, that spring, so to speak, I was actually not on campus. I was having to take courses at the community college. That
Oh.
season before, I broke my ankle. See, played 11 screws in it, and so I was out.
Mhm.
The Michigan Rose Bowl,
Right.
and coming back that spring, I actually had to do it all by myself. I
Mm.
actually had to train by myself. I had to work out and rehab by myself, and actually I was away from the team and everything. So
Mm.
what these guys are experiencing right now, I literally did it. And I in my mind there was one goal, and one first and foremost was to not let my family down, because I did make some mistakes academically that put me in that position. And I always told myself, hey, if I wasn't playing football, I'd make straight A's. And so that was my moment to just basically show myself and actually do it.
Mm-hmm.
And so that spring, I'll never forget it. I had guys, Vince, one of them, Coach Chambers, another one, Mad Dog, and one of the guys that I would never forget, Kenny Boyd, which was the athletic trainer at the time. You know, uh, these guys kind of rallied around me and was like, "Hey, you're not in the place with us, but there's something about you within yourself that is taking care of business, and you're going to be prepared and ready to go when time's called on you." And I think that mindset is a lot of the same mindset these guys have. If you're going to say, "Hey, I'm in a situation," and you looking at it and you realizing where you want to go and where you want to be, and not accept that situation that you in, but make the best of that situation to where at the end of the light there's a tunnel, and there's a tunnel that all you got to do is get through that path, and when you get through that path, there's another light. And so that was my mindset. And I think for these guys, they're in that tunnel right now. It's dark. You don't know kind of what's going on, but you focus. And it kind of allows you to focus a little bit more. And like I said earlier, I hope these guys took that a moment to get stronger, get faster, get wiser, get better.
Mm-hmm.
And they should come out better for it. One thing that you're going to miss, what I miss right now, is the camaraderie, the team, being in a locker room and hanging around and knowing someone else is putting their hard blood, sweat, and tears into something that you're doing as well. There's some reinforcement, there's some team building stuff that's going on that those guys aren't getting. But from my experience, um, it's not a must have. You must have that it within yourself. And I think Coach Herman did a good job of choosing a lot of these guys. I don't think these guys need the locker rooms or the fans or anybody. I think they just need themselves and kind of think about, hey, I've been doing this since it was a little league. They see kids now. I'm sure Coach Herman has them out in the community doing things and giving back and speaking their story and being able to visualize and relive where they came from and where they are now. And once you got something like that in front of you, hopefully those guys are taking advantage of it. Because I'm one of the
Right.
ones that can tell them the moment you don't, hey, that should be gone. Pardon my French.
No, it's all right. No, that makes sense. Yeah, it's
Yeah. So
it's obviously a different perspective, huh? To
yeah,
see like when you're in it versus being able to see, afterward and what it, kind of perceiving it from the outside too. So that's interesting. Yeah, yeah. I was just looking at any of the other questions down here. Affect the game. Yeah, I mean, so Dustin asks, how do you feel like, you know, missing practices affecting gameplay. Obviously, I guess the good thing is everybody's kind of in the same boat, right? It's not like another team or another school is getting to, more practices than Texas. But, is that do you think that's a massive loss for the, for just the team chemistry or just not, obviously not getting those reps?
I definitely think, what it doesn't allow those practices, for you to go deep and try to actually make a championship run, you want to understand and realize that you could be 2 and 3 deep at each position. And so when you're missing practices like that, there's some guys that okay, I know what I get out of this guy. But those guys that you don't know what you'll get out of from a coach's perspective is where it's at a disadvantage. But for that young man or that kid in that position, like I say, if he's given what he's got, all he's got, and buying in, that guy should be fine. It's more a disadvantage for the coaches to figure out how to use that guy and to get the best out of that guy, because I haven't seen much of him. And so that's when I think the disadvantage, and gratefully it's even across the board, other coaches not having the same time to do their due diligence on guys. So, it'll be some guys getting in games and getting in positions, and coaches not going to know what to expect. And they're going to learn right in that moment. They may have a few days and to kind of get prepared once they open things back up. But, a lot of that time where you can figure out, hey, am I 2 deep in this position, or am I 3 deep, or am I just, I just got my horse right there. So this is the time where guys are trying to find out that next guy.
Right. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I would assume that just provides a lot of clarity for the coaches, right, to figure out, where are the holes, or who needs to develop, who needs to close the gap, right, from the experience standpoint of, even if you got a guy, right, even if that, Sam's your guy or whatever, but, who knows, I think.
I want to know what these other guys can do.
Yeah. I mean, in 2018, Sam kind of missed a game and a half, really. Shane Buechele was, pretty much the guy for a good game and a half, if I remember right. Yeah, that's
well,
an interesting point.
Yeah. Was it Shane? I don't think it was Shane. I think he was gone. Who was his backup?
I'm thinking of 2018.
Oh, 2018. Okay, yeah.
Pretty much the Baylor. What was it? Baylor and Iowa State or something like that. I know he got.
I think he missed a game last year too. I think he got a shoulder or something this past season.
Well, I know he was having problems with his ribs for a while.
Yeah.
During
that's a tough young man though.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff I see him do out there. Hey, I have no problem with a guy saying I'm hurt, because we know you hurt. It's just how much longer are you going to be able to play hurt,
Right.
So.
Right, for sure.
I got respect for a guy.
Yeah. I what worries me more about Sam is that he might actually stay too long and get himself hurt, even worse and injured beyond, beyond anything that he could shake off. Right. All right. So, all right, maybe just take one more question. This one's from Mitch. He asked, what do you feel like Texas needs to do to get guys drafted a little bit higher in the NFL draft? I chatted with Stephen Ngati over at Fanatic Perspective about this right after the draft, after Devin and Colin and Brandon, were drafted. But what how important of an issue do you think that is, right now, and what does it take to kind of develop higher NFL draft picks?
Funny thing. I mean, everyone in America know football is in Texas. And, there's guys all across the country trying to play football in other states and other cities, but it's nothing like Texas football. And the truth is, there's just so many guys in Texas, whether they're at UT, whether they're at A&M, or whether they, wherever they are, there's athletes there. And we do get that, that title from a lot of those NFL guys that, you can grab anybody out of Texas and put them in a position. So, it took a lot of hard work for us when we got there. They was talking Texas soft and this and that. I mean, it wasn't much respect, and we had to earn that and show that. We had to kind of get after it on guys. So, I think we've had some D lines, some D tackles, some DBs, some receivers go. They hadn't went as high as I thought that they should have. But I know, a lot of that overall thought that those guys have on the next level about guys in Texas. There's some haterade in their Gatorade, and a lot of times they're just overlooking. The truth is, a lot of these guys, once they come from Texas, I mean, they're in there, they're maintaining. They're strong, they're fast, they understand that we're taught. So I think it's just a matter of time for us to actually start putting some W's up and to getting some more TV time and knocking some people off the ball and gain a little bit more respect, getting that soft talk out of Texas. And I think, things will change.
Right. Cool. Yeah, no, those are awesome points. So tell us a little bit more about what's going on with you these days. I know you've got your own business. You seem to be doing a ton of good. I think it's awesome what you got going on. I've only kind of seen about it from what the activity I've seen on social media, but tell us a little bit more about it and kind of where you are these days. Or you're still in Houston, is that right?
Yep, I'm in Houston. Right now, my main deal every day is building food trucks. I've been doing that for about 8 years. Buildingfoodtrucks.com. Person can go in and request a quote, and I can get it back to them. With things going on right now and the way restaurants are going down and stuff like that, hopefully I'm in the right place to be able to make some things click. I've had some tough times just like everyone else has. Things are slow. But while it's been slow, I've been able to think about other ways to kind of make some coins kind of fall out of my pocket, so to speak, by putting a little work in, and came up with a couple ideas. I got a good friend of mine over at Brothers Produce. He created this co-op model, and he's allowing, co-ops to set up around the town, and they're, ordering product and just, selling it and creating produce boxes. I decided to do the same thing, and I took mine a little further. I got a bunch of friends all over town and all over the country that I wanted to support my business, but I couldn't get them a produce box to wherever they were unless they were in the city to pick it up. And I put a little donation tab. I was like, hey, you can buy one for yourself or buy one, and I'll hand it out to someone I know that is going through some tough times right now. And the first week I had maybe 4 or 5 boxes sold, but I had about 20 donated, and which is more than I was expecting. So, I gave myself some idea. If something like that was to happen, who would I target? And my mind was, I would target seniors. I know right now a lot of seniors are being told to stay home, and people are told not to go visit their seniors and don't go to the grocery store and kind of like hang low. So I figured, with the opportunity to have an enormous amounts, Brothers is one of the biggest distributors in Texas, Houston, Dallas, Austin. I mean, there are hundreds of trucks on the road. For me to have an unlimited supply, I was like, hey, I'll give it to seniors. So, I chose a few senior assisted living facilities, and just been going in there and setting up, and they've been having their own farmers market, so to speak. They're just going in 2 at a time, 3 at a time, grabbing bags and, big, fresh green and yellow and all kinds of vibrant fruits and vegetables. They just love it. Just watching them. I mean, I wasn't expecting to actually receive a feeling. I was expecting to just give it and, give a good feeling and give a joy to a senior that hasn't really been out and got to talk to anyone. And, the first time I did it, I mean, they were in there crying because, it's just so exciting. It brought back memories. So I had to do it again. And I did it again. I found another facility and I did it again. And it's really all because my friends are donating boxes. I mean, they're not buying it for themselves. They're buying it for me to give it away. So I've been giving it away to people that I know that can use it. My next group is churches. This weekend, we're doing a little deal over at a New Faith Church. TJ Ford, one of our, fellow Longhorns, Final Four team, what is it, Naismith, when he win, player of the year,
He donated. We got about 40 boxes from him that's going out this weekend. Got Vince Young. He donated. He just texted me right now. The B to Z engineering company that he's working with. It seems like all those guys just bought a box. And so, this weekend it should be the biggest one I've had yet. We're going to try to reach about 300 people. This past Saturday, Vince came with me, and he jumped in there, and we went to the CUNY homes. It's like the projects in Houston, Third Ward area, where George Floyd, the young man that was murdered, where he grew up and where he hung out and where he went to high school at. They got a memorial that they put on the wall. And we just went into that neighborhood, and we went and got those youngsters that were roaming around and told them to go, hey, knock on the door of a senior, someone 65 or older, and hand them a produce box, and smile while you're doing it. So we was able to get young guys in the community to do something good for older people in the community. And so that was cool. So this coming week, we're doing churches. And I actually got Casey Stutter down in Austin. He's launching, and I think he's over at Lake Hills Church next week. So he's going to be doing the same thing. So the motto is you can go online, you can choose a produce box. There's a large, fresh, mixed fruit and vegetable, enough to feed a family of 4 for a week. It's a lot of food in there. Then there's a small mixed fruit and vegetable, and then there's a vegetable and there's a fruit one. So the same deal. People can buy for themselves, and they'll be able to place an order probably up until Thursday and pick up on a Tuesday or Wednesday. Casey's. I actually built him a trailer, so he's doing barbecue, and he's been killing it. So,
right.
Cool. I like to keep it in the Longhorn family. Me personally.
No, that sounds great, right? And those guys, like you said, those guys have organizations and people they're helping too, and figure out how to connect with them and the churches or whatever organizations or neighborhoods and stuff like that. So where can people go? Like, what's the best way for people to like check it out or to get some more information or to order or donate?
Yeah. So I created a website. It's farm2neighborhoods.com. And from there, there's produce boxes on the front page. You can just click them and add them to the cart. I got a little tab on there. If you scroll down, it says click here if you want to donate a box to a family in need. And below, I've been putting up videos every week to kind of show the people that have donated where it's going and how then they can see firsthand that impact as if they were there. Mm-hmm. So I've been trying to make it friendly. But I know right now going into grocery stores and grabbing fresh produce and vegetables that people are picking over and putting back. This is a different model. So, people are having to trust me that I'm actually picking through items that are perfect, to the touch and to the feel. And so that's where I depend on Brothers Produce. And they've been doing such a great job. Every single item, every banana, every strawberry, every grape, everything has been perfect. So they have an assembly team and they're going through and they're being our eyes and almost like, grandma, like looking at this one. Hey, I won't put this one in the box or put this one in the box. So, when people pick up their produce boxes, it's some very fresh and cold produce. And so it's been accepted well. And I think the model will grow as people continue to buy and eat. And, there's another side of there's people out there that right now could use some help. And some fruits and vegetables is a small deal that could help some people.
Awesome. So it's farm2neighborhoods with an S.com, right?
Correct.
All right.
Correct.
Instagram, on Instagram, Facebook, also page.
Yep. Same handle. Yes, sir.
Farm2neighborhoods.
Farm2neighborhoods.com.
Yeah. No, I've seen some of the stuff you've been posting, and it just, you're right. It seems like you are like right in the core of everything, and you seem so passionate about it too, which is awesome to see. Knowing that you're actually solving problems and providing that solution for a lot of people, especially being, like you said, so relevant right now to where people either, maybe they don't want to get out or they can't. And those grandmas, they like to pick through their stuff, right? They'll spend time picking the right ones. My grandmother used to, when she made red beans, she would pick out the ones she didn't like. The beans, just like a little bean. So that's cool that these guys, that you can you can kind of be confident in it, and you're getting some hand-picked, ready to go fresh fruits and vegetables too.
And I'm paying them $3 a box to do it. So I'm paying for it, and the best thing about it is the price points that he's giving to me. So if a person was to go and buy that box for me, they can turn around and sell that box and mark that box up another $5 or $10. So I kind of created a model to where, you have guys that are out there raising money for little league football teams. You have sisterhoods in church raising money for this or for that. I created a model with these boxes to where a person can fundraise with it. I got the smaller ones and I got the large ones. So when you're going door to door, instead of sending candy and making world famous chocolate more money, a person could actually, buy these boxes and mark them up and sell them. So, they can fundraise with it. And that's the way I created it. On the website itself, I created an affiliate tab. So a person can go in, and the same way you see formtheneighborhoods.com right now, it can say /David Lee. And you can copy that link and post it on your Facebook, and everyone that purchased one, you would get commission in your account that's on my website. So I made it for everybody. I wanted people to look at fruits and vegetables the way our grandparents used to look at it. Back in the day, it was more than just fruits and vegetables. You knew the person down the street grew the corn. You knew the other person, grew the greens, or this person grew this. I mean, everyone came together and you traded. You got a little bit of this and a little bit of that. So I'm trying to keep that same mentality, and just small now. So, at some point I can feed every neighborhood in Texas. I would love to. Yeah. Someone's going to have to donate a heck of a lot of money, but I can build food trucks. So if it does, I'm damn sure going to build something out and have plants growing. And I have all kind of ideas. I'm going to go slow. I'm going to keep showing up and keep doing it. It's not making me any money, but I'm seeing smiles and I feel like I'm doing something, These gray hairs is coming in, man. I'm not going to be around forever.
No, that's awesome. And like I said, you could tell how passionate you are about it, and it's cool to see. And everybody loves food, right? Especially now, people have been kind of together and I think figuring that out, a little bit more, kind of revisiting that, kind of spending more time together, maybe even spending more time cooking at home and supporting the small businesses too. And also, if you can support the local farmers, and, they're having to make crazy decisions right now with some of the stuff they have to throw away, and kind of bridging that gap, right, too, because, kind of helping them solve a problem too. So that's awesome.
Exactly. This thing is layered. I didn't realize how many layers it was in food farming. It's layered.
Yeah, and it's more direct, right? It's kind of like I said, bridging that gap of and if people can get it more fresh, if it lasts longer, if it's not toward the end of its life rotting away, that's cool. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, cool, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for the time. We're over 40 minutes now, but no, I really appreciate you jumping on here. Awesome stuff, awesome insight. We always love connecting with you guys. Would love to have you on again. But we'll get this on. Save this video obviously on the Facebook page. I'll probably also get it saved over at the website. It's TexasHornsFans.com. But Selvin, I really appreciate you jumping on here and keeping us up to date with what you got going on. It's awesome.
Hey, for sure, man. Hey, thanks for having me. I bleed orange, man, and there's a big Longhorn family out there, and so I'm not in the uniform anymore. I'm a fan just like everyone else, and so we're all in this boat together. Yeah. We're wishing our Longhorns best, and we out here making the eyes of Texas proud, because they're always watching.
Right. All right. I appreciate it, man. Good luck to you. And we'll keep in touch. Reach out how we might be able to help each other too. Always open for that too. All right. Right.
Yeah, for sure. Hook 'em.
All right, man. Have a good night.
Peace.
Bye, guys.